What if I told you that Mexico has released over 15,000 sea turtles equipped with satellite tracking devices, and these ancient mariners have traveled a combined distance of 500 million kilometers while revealing secret ocean migration routes that scientists never knew existed? It sounds like marine science fiction, right? Well, Mexico has been quietly tracking these ocean wanderers for over 15 years. And where they ended up has revolutionized our understanding of ocean ecosystems and created one of conservation's greatest success stories. This is that incredible tale of following ancient ocean navigators. But to understand why Mexico would spend millions of dollars putting high-tech tracking devices on endangered sea turtles, we need to go back to 2005. That year, Mexico faced a marine conservation crisis that threatened to eliminate sea turtle populations that had survived for over 100 million years, making them among the most ancient creatures on Earth. Picture this. Sea turtle populations along Mexico's coasts had crashed by over 95% since the 1950s due to hunting, coastal development, and fishing industry bycatch. Hawksbill turtles, once numbering in the hundreds of thousands, had been reduced to fewer than 2,000 breeding females. Leatherback turtles, the ocean's largest reptiles, were on the verge of complete extinction in the Pacific, with only 200 to 300 nesting females remaining. The numbers surrounding Mexico's turtle crisis were devastating. Annual egg collection for human consumption had reached over 1 million eggs per year, destroying entire generations before they could hatch. Coastal development had eliminated 80% of traditional nesting beaches. Most critically, commercial fishing operations were accidentally killing an estimated 50,000 sea turtles annually as bycatch in nets and fishing lines. But Mexico possessed something that made comprehensive turtle conservation possible. Over 11,000 kilometers of coastline on both the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans, providing critical nesting habitat for 6 of the world's 7 sea turtle species. More importantly, Mexico's growing economy provided the resources needed for large-scale conservation technology and international scientific collaboration. The challenge seemed insurmountable. How do you protect animals that spend 95% of their lives in the open ocean, traveling thousands of kilometers between feeding and nesting areas? How do you study creatures that can live for over 100 years and take 20-30 years to reach sexual maturity? Most critically, how do you design conservation strategies for species whose life cycles and habitat requirements were almost completely unknown? Traditional turtle conservation had focused on protecting nesting beaches and hatchlings, but this approach was proving inadequate. Adult turtles were dying in fishing operations throughout the ocean, and no one knew where the turtles went when they left Mexican beaches. Without understanding turtle migration patterns and critical habitat areas, comprehensive conservation was impossible. Dr. Elena Rodriguez from the National University of Mexico recognized that sea turtle conservation required a completely different approach. Instead of guessing where turtles went and what they needed, Mexico would use advanced satellite tracking technology to follow individual turtles throughout their entire life cycles, creating the first comprehensive map of sea turtle ecology. But the challenges were staggering. How do you attach tracking devices to wild animals that spend their lives in salt water and can dive to depths of over 1,000 meters? How do you design equipment that can function for decades while withstanding extreme ocean conditions? Most critically, how do you make turtle tracking economically viable when the technology costs and logistics are unprecedented? The inspiration came from advances in satellite technology and miniaturization that had made GPS tracking feasible for smaller animals. If the devices could be made small enough and durable enough, individual sea turtles could carry them for years while transmitting location data that would reveal their movements and habitat use patterns. The solution Dr. Rodriguez proposed was both elegant and ambitious. Mexico would develop the world's most advanced sea turtle tracking program, equipping thousands of turtles with satellite transmitters and following their movements for decades. This wouldn't just be a research project. It would be a comprehensive conservation strategy that used technology to revolutionize marine protection. Critics were skeptical of both the feasibility and conservation value of large-scale turtle tracking. Dr. Miguel Santos from the Autonomous University of Baja California argued that spending millions of dollars on high-tech tracking devices for doomed species is misguided conservation that diverts resources from proven protection strategies like beach patrols and fishing restrictions. International marine conservation experts questioned whether tracking technology could generate conservation benefits that justified the enormous costs. Satellite transmitters cost $3,000 to $5,000 each and required sophisticated support systems for data collection and analysis. Many experts believed the money would be better spent on traditional conservation approaches with proven effectiveness. Environmental groups were divided on the project. Some supported technological approaches that could provide definitive data on turtle ecology and conservation needs. Others worried that expensive tracking programs would become substitutes for addressing the root causes of turtle population declines, including fishing industry practices and coastal development. Local fishing communities were concerned about potential restrictions on their activities based on turtle tracking data. Many fishermen feared that turtle research would lead to fishing area closures or equipment restrictions that could threaten their livelihoods. There were also concerns about the costs and complexity of implementing turtle-safe fishing practices. But Mexico had several advantages that made large-scale turtle tracking feasible. The country's extensive marine research capabilities provided the scientific expertise needed for sophisticated tracking programs. Mexico's position between the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans made it a critical location for studying turtle migrations across ocean basins. Most importantly, Mexico's growing ecotourism industry provided economic incentives for turtle conservation success. The turtle tracking program officially launched in 2008 with the deployment of satellite transmitters on 50 adult female sea turtles of multiple species. The transmitters were attached to turtle shells using techniques that ensured the devices wouldn't interfere with normal swimming, diving, or feeding behaviors, while providing continuous location data for up to 5 years. But even supporters weren't entirely optimistic about what the tracking data would reveal. Sea turtles had been studied for decades without major breakthroughs in understanding their ecology. There was no guarantee that satellite tracking would provide conservation insights that justified the enormous investment in technology and research infrastructure. The first tracking results, received in 2009, shocked marine scientists worldwide and revolutionized understanding of sea turtle ecology. The turtles weren't just swimming randomly through the ocean. They were following precise migration routes that spanned entire ocean basins, with accuracy that seemed impossible for animals navigating without instruments. One leatherback turtle, nicknamed Adelita, traveled 20,558 kilometers from Mexico to Japan and back, demonstrating that Pacific sea turtles regularly crossed the entire ocean in epic migrations that no one had imagined. Hawksbill turtles were making annual trips from Mexican nesting beaches to feeding areas in Central America, covering over 2,000 kilometers. Most remarkably, the turtles were using the same routes year after year with GPS-level precision. Dr. Patricia Morales, who became the program's lead marine biologist in 2010, described the tracking discoveries as like discovering a hidden highway system in the ocean. The turtles were following ocean currents, temperature gradients, and magnetic field patterns to navigate across thousands of kilometers of open water with remarkable accuracy. The tracking data revealed that sea turtles were far more sophisticated navigators than anyone had realized. Young turtles used magnetic fields to navigate during their first ocean journeys, while adults relied on a combination of magnetic navigation, ocean current patterns, and possibly even celestial navigation to find feeding areas and return to natal beaches after decades at sea. Perhaps most astonishingly, the tracking showed that Mexican beaches were critical to turtle populations throughout the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans. Turtles born in Mexico were traveling to feeding areas in Ecuador, Peru, Japan, Hawaii, and the Galapagos Islands. Mexico wasn't just protecting local turtle populations, it was maintaining genetic diversity for entire ocean ecosystems. The conservation implications were immediate and profound. The tracking data identified critical habitat areas that required protection throughout the ocean. Migration corridors used by thousands of turtles could be designated as protected zones. Most importantly, International cooperation was essential because turtle conservation required protecting animals across their entire range. Economic benefits followed quickly as the tracking data generated international media attention and scientific recognition. Mexico's turtle tracking program became a major ecotourism attraction as visitors came to see tagged turtles and learn about their incredible journeys. Coastal communities that participated in turtle protection experienced significant increases in tourism revenue. The technology continued to evolve with each generation of tracking devices. Solar-powered transmitters provided longer battery life and more detailed location data. Miniaturization allowed tracking of smaller turtle species and younger animals. Advanced sensors monitored water temperature, diving depth, and swimming speed to provide comprehensive ecological data. International collaboration expanded as other countries recognized the global importance of turtle migration patterns. The United States, Japan, Australia, and Costa Rica established complementary tracking programs that contributed to a comprehensive understanding of Pacific Ocean turtle ecology. Mexico had become the center of a global turtle research network. By 2012, over 1,000 sea turtles had been tagged with tracking devices, generating the most comprehensive database of marine animal movements ever assembled. The tracking data was revolutionizing marine conservation by identifying exactly where protection efforts would be most effective for maintaining turtle populations. The success attracted massive international funding from conservation organizations, government agencies, and private foundations. The tracking program expanded to include all 6 turtle species found in Mexican waters, with new turtles being tagged annually to maintain comprehensive population monitoring. Research partnerships with universities around the world generated hundreds of scientific publications on turtle ecology, navigation, and conservation. The accumulated data was contributing to new theories about animal navigation, ocean ecosystem dynamics, and the effects of climate change on marine animal behavior. Climate change research became a major application of turtle tracking data. The long-term temperature and location records were providing unprecedented insights into how ocean warming was affecting marine animal behavior and distribution. Turtles were serving as biological sensors that monitored ocean conditions across vast areas. By 2015, the turtle tracking program had documented over 100 million kilometers of turtle movements, equivalent to traveling from Earth to the Moon and back over 100 times. The data was revealing ocean ecosystem connections that had never been understood and was fundamentally changing approaches to marine conservation. Fishing industry collaboration began as turtle tracking data helped identify areas and times where turtle bycatch was most likely to occur. Fishermen could avoid these areas or modify their equipment to reduce turtle mortality. The tracking program was becoming a tool for sustainable fishing rather than just conservation research. The success had also created new economic opportunities in Mexico's coastal communities. Turtle tracking had become a major ecotourism attraction that generated sustainable income for local people. Former turtle hunters became turtle guides and conservation educators, creating economic incentives for protection rather than exploitation. What happened from 2015 to 2024 transformed Mexico's turtle tracking program from a research project into the foundation of global sea turtle conservation and a revolutionary tool for understanding ocean ecosystems. By 2024, over 15,000 sea turtles had been equipped with tracking devices, generating a dataset that represented the most comprehensive study of marine animal movements in history. The most remarkable discovery was the existence of turtle highways. Precise migration corridors used by thousands of turtles spanning entire ocean basins. These underwater superhighways connected feeding areas in Alaska to nesting beaches in Mexico, linking ecosystems across 15,000 kilometers of ocean. The tracking data revealed that ocean conservation required international cooperation on a scale never before attempted. Dr. Carlos Medina, who became Mexico's Director of Marine Animal Tracking in 2021, described the turtle highways as discovering the circulatory system of the ocean. The migration corridors were essential for maintaining genetic diversity, population connectivity, and ecosystem health, across the entire Pacific Ocean. Perhaps most astonishingly, the tracking data had enabled prediction of turtle behavior with incredible accuracy. Advanced artificial intelligence systems could predict where individual turtles would be months in advance based on ocean conditions, turtle history, and migration patterns. This predictive capability was revolutionizing both conservation and ecotourism planning. The conservation success exceeded every projection. Sea turtle populations that had been declining for decades began recovering dramatically. Hawksbill turtle nesting increased by 400% as international protection of migration corridors reduced mortality. Leatherback populations stabilized and began growing for the first time in 50 years. Economic transformation was equally dramatic. Turtle tracking had generated over $2 billion in ecotourism revenue for Mexico, while creating sustainable livelihoods for thousands of coastal residents. Turtle watching had become one of Mexico's most important tourist attractions, drawing visitors from around the world to experience tracked turtle releases and follow their journeys online. International adoption of Mexican tracking techniques had created a global network of over 50,000 tracked marine animals, including whales, sharks, seals, and fish. The technology and methods developed for sea turtles were being applied to comprehensive ocean ecosystem monitoring. Mexico had become the global center of marine animal tracking expertise. Climate change research applications had become crucial as ocean temperatures continued to rise. The long-term tracking data provided the most detailed record of ocean warming effects on marine animal behavior. Turtles were serving as ocean sentinels that detected environmental changes years before other monitoring systems. The tracking technology had evolved to include advanced sensors that monitored ocean chemistry, pollution levels, and ecosystem health. Tagged turtles were becoming mobile research platforms that collected environmental data across vast areas of ocean. The conservation program had evolved into a comprehensive ocean monitoring system. Educational impacts reached millions of people worldwide through online platforms that allowed real-time tracking of individual turtles. Students could follow their turtle on epic ocean journeys while learning about marine ecology and conservation. The tracking program had become a global educational phenomenon that inspired ocean conservation awareness. Space technology applications emerged as tracking systems became sophisticated enough to monitor animal behavior from satellites. The techniques developed for turtle tracking were being adapted for monitoring wildlife on land and in freshwater environments. Mexico's marine tracking expertise was expanding to comprehensive biodiversity monitoring. Research partnerships had expanded to include collaborations with space agencies, technology companies, and international conservation organizations. The tracking data was contributing to fundamental research on animal navigation, climate change, and ocean ecosystem dynamics that extended far beyond turtle conservation. By 2024, the economic analysis showed returns exceeding 1,000%. The $30 million investment in turtle tracking had generated over $400 million in direct economic benefits, while providing incalculable conservation and scientific value. The program had become one of the most successful conservation investments in history. International policy frameworks were being developed to protect turtle migration corridors, identified through tracking data. The United Nations established guidelines for marine protected areas based on animal movement patterns. The turtle tracking data was becoming the foundation for international ocean conservation agreements. The success had attracted investment from major technology companies seeking to apply artificial intelligence and machine learning to conservation. Google, Microsoft, and Amazon established marine conservation research programs based on the vast datasets generated by turtle tracking. The integration of conservation and technology was creating new possibilities for environmental protection. Cultural transformation had made sea turtle conservation a source of national pride in Mexico. Coastal communities that had once harvested turtles for survival now protected them as valuable economic and cultural assets. Environmental education programs brought millions of students to experience turtle conservation firsthand. The tracking discoveries had fundamentally changed scientific understanding of ocean ecosystems and animal behavior. The revelation that individual turtles could navigate with GPS-level accuracy across entire ocean basins challenged basic assumptions about animal intelligence and navigation capabilities. The ocean was revealed to be far more structured and predictable than scientists had imagined. Medical research applications emerged as scientists recognized that turtle navigation abilities could provide insights into human neurology and treatment of navigation disorders. The magnetic sensing capabilities of sea turtles were being studied for potential applications in treating dementia and other neurological conditions. The lesson of Mexico's turtle tracking revolution extends far beyond marine conservation. It demonstrates that technology can reveal natural phenomena that fundamentally change scientific understanding, while creating sustainable economic opportunities for communities that protect, rather than exploit, natural resources. As 15,000 tracked sea turtles continue their epic ocean journeys, they represent more than just successful conservation. They are living symbols of the connections that link all ocean life. Their precise migrations prove that the ocean is not empty space, but a structured environment with highways, neighborhoods, and destinations that support the complex movements of marine life. The sight of satellite-tracked sea turtles navigating thousands of kilometers of open ocean with impossible precision represents a new chapter in human understanding of animal intelligence and ocean ecosystems. Mexico's turtle tracking program proves that when conservation meets advanced technology, the results can exceed our wildest expectations while creating sustainable benefits for both wildlife and human communities. The 500 million kilometers traveled by Mexico's tracked turtles have revealed an ocean full of hidden wonders and precise biological rhythms that connect ecosystems across the entire planet. They prove that conservation success requires understanding the full complexity of natural systems, and that technology can be conservation's most powerful tool when applied with vision and commitment to long-term protection.